Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Nice having you come on with us. And if you can, you don't have to, but say hello as you get your notifications here this morning. And let's see. Okay. That's happening. Let me see and say hello. Okay. Here we go. Who's going to be numero uno this morning? And we sure appreciate when you folks can come on. Ilana. Well, how do you like that? And Karen, good morning. We got new people at the top. 2 Karens, one from Innisfil. Brahim, there you are. Leela. I thought I might be on the wrong program this morning. Hi, Kevin. From Oshawa. Brahim from Portland, Oregon. Bonnie, how are you, Little Britain? Ashley, Anna, and Brian, good morning. And Sylvia, how you doing? And Laurie from Cambridge. And Sandy, Chilliwack, British Columbia. Lynn from Aurora. Chantal, Ottawa. Comment ça va? And another Chantal right after you. How are you? I love Chantals. And Danny Lay is in Ironbridge. Rosalinda is in Niagara Falls. Hi, Nellie. Eric, salut. Roxanne from Pembroke. A blizzard. Oh, my word. Sandra. Patricia from Calgary. Nick is on with us this morning from our staff. Wendy. Evangeline. Dennis. Anne and Diane, Peterborough, Kristen, Saskatchewan, Darcy, Wisconsin, and Darlene, good morning. Faye, Luella in West Tennessee. I'm on my way, Luella, to West Tennessee. Jean, Lorraine, British Columbia. Marva. I've been through Tennessee, but I'm going to Tennessee. We're going to doing a seminar there on Saturday. Myra, Karen, and Carol from Wasaga Beach. And Marcin, Judy from Mitchell. Carol from West Virginia. Heather from Miramichi, New Brunswick. Karen from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. We love you guys. Thanks for coming on. And in snowy Bethany. Can you imagine? We're into April and snow. Judy, we didn't get the memo about spring yet. Port Perry, Ontario, and Kevin saying hello to Meathead. Who are you calling a Meathead? Me? Hi, Rita. Evangeline. Evangeline wants me to go to Cape Breton Island. Well, you invite me and I'll come. Carol. And Edmonton, Alberta. How did you say that name? Cheryl. And yeah, you know what, guys, I don't know. I guess there was a memo that I was going to be on at 4 o'clock this afternoon. I'm sorry about that, guys. We'll fix it, but it's too late now. Okay. Yeah, no more afternoon sessions unless I give you a heads up first. Sorry, guys, for those are missing. Denise, Karen said she was number 1 this morning. Well, how about that? Okay, let's get back because I finally, after the program yesterday, I was able to find the questions. Oh, talk about being a senior, right? So I answered some of those questions yesterday, but let me just go through now a couple of others that I missed. Okay. Okay. I talked about niacin yesterday, right? Vitamin B3. That was Caroline. Peggy is asking a question about she's got no gallbladder, doesn't have a spleen, and she has pain where her liver is located. Well, you have a liver, right? Had a CAT scan. Everything was good. No fatty liver, no pancreas. If I should take digestive enzymes, and she said no. Well, Peggy, I'm not getting a migraine, but I could get one. When they tell you, look, you can't go wrong with digestive enzymes, okay? You just can't. I mean, literally millions of people take digestive enzymes every day. They're good for you. As you get older, you don't even make as much, and you don't even have a gallbladder. So your secretion of your digestion is going to be compromised with a lack of bile. You still make bile, but you won't have as much. And the idea is digestive enzymes are so good for you, especially a broad spectrum digestive enzyme with all the amylase, lipase, protease. In our digestive enzyme, we even put oil of oregano in it. Why? We want that for SIBO, for SIFO, to kill yeast. It's so good for you. I just don't agree. And she recommended I take over-the-counter meds for gastritis. Nah, well, look, any over-the-counter med for gastritis is going to lower your acidity. At the end of the day, the problem is you don't even have enough acidity. So it gives you a temporary Band-Aid, but it comes with a boatload of problems, a boatload of side effects. Go through, Peggy, if you can, go to the Doctors In podcast on your favorite device, and just on the site, look for, and you can actually bring it up, look for anything with PPIs or proton pump inhibitors. I have talked so much about what they give you as a med. They were never meant to be taken any long term at all. And doctors, well, you're not complaining. Keep on it. Yeah, but the problem is now you're not digesting your food properly. Your brain is going to be affected by it. All sorts of your ability to fight infections, your ability to break down protein, your ability to break down nutrients are all affected by that. So digestive enzymes help. They're a great aid for that. Okay. Peggy, thanks for the question. Elaine was talking about an ingrown, who's having it? Her brother's having ingrown eyelashes. Give them a sty, give them an infection. Look, I don't know how bad it is. It might need an antibiotic to start. Take oil of oregano internally. Don't put, be very careful with oil of oregano around your eye. It's so good, though. It's so antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic. It is God's gift to humanity. And I would make a little salve with some probiotic. Like open up, you don't need much of the powder in a capsule. You got billions and billions of bacteria there, and they're on your side. So make a little salve, maybe with a little bit of coconut oil, and just bathe very, very carefully around the eyelid. Okay? Seen it work many, many a time. And take the oil of oregano internally with probiotic. That was Elaine. Kim, pulmonary fibrosis. She's been diagnosed with that. Okay, now on oxygen. Oh, it's not Kim, it's somebody she knows. If there's anything one can take, maybe it is you, Kim. Well, look, pulmonary fibrosis, this is pretty advanced, lung disease. I would do a lot of things. First of all, put everything on your side, Kim, or on the side of someone that's suffering with pulmonary fibrosis. I was big on changing get on the reset. I was big on getting rid of yeast. Somebody's asking the question. I'll get into that, even in more detail in a minute. Don't feed the bears. Usually with fibrosis, there's a fungal infection inside of the lungs. I love lungs, quercetin with Navitol, blood supply. Quercetin, very anti-inflammatory. So is Navitol. And it helps with the healing as much as you can. It depends on how advanced that fibrosis is. But you put everything on your side. I would have you on high omega-3. I would have you on magnesium because all of that will help your lungs. Vitamin D, essential for lung health. Okay? That's what I would do, Kim. Gail. Okay, we talked about this yesterday, donating plasma, and that was Gail. Chantal's asking about she had a minor procedure done last week, stitched. Very painful. Should I use oil of oregano? Yeah, use oil of oregano right on it. Dilute it, you might have to. Use a little bit of coconut oil or whatever and just I'd open up some probiotic, even a little bit of powder, and put that in and salve it. Like just put right over the stitches. Amazing what happens with that, okay? Thank you, Chantal. Okay, I answered Hella's questions yesterday about swelling in the ankles. Cecilia is asking about traveler's diarrhea. Don't leave home without the probiotics, especially if you're going into Mexico or Cuba or whatever to go on holidays. Punta Cana or whatever. Like, you just understand that, those people down there, they're used to these kind of bacteria. Their water filtration is not like we have. And, I always tell people, travel with your probiotics. That's why our probiotics are so good, because it doesn't matter. You can heat them up. You're not losing that bacteria. Like they're not dairy-based. They're soil-based. You can take them anywhere. Like probiotics, a big, big thing. Put oil of oregano in your suitcase. Do the two together. Yeah, you're doing everything you can, Cecilia, for sure. You're already doing what I tell you to do. Okay? I love it. Very smart. Okay. Claude, blood sugar levels. Is the A1C level comparable to the total amount of sugar in our blood? Well, I like A1C better. Okay, Claude, and here's the reason I like it better. Look, if you want to take your blood sugar and get it immediately, okay. But what's better than that is getting an average of your blood sugar. This tells you much more. I love A1C, okay? And your A1C, if you're over 5.4, you're on the Titanic. You and carbs don't get along. Don't fool yourself, okay? Because the doctors, they wait till you're a diabetic, okay? They only know diabetes. And I talked about this, I think, the other day, pre-diabetic. Let me see. I did a whole thing. Let me just see if I actually talked about it. Yeah, I talked about it the other day. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Or did I? 98. I didn't tell you this. This is a new study. Okay, a new report. 98 million Americans, this is in America, are pre-diabetic. Okay, this is an article that I flagged last week, and I guess I didn't. Remember, okay, these are me making notes on that thing. Remember, okay, diabetes is the last thing that happens in your body, not the first thing. The last thing. Why? Your body is dedicated to controlling your blood sugar. And, okay, this is what the article was. They're saying they made a proposal, okay, to the Diabetic Association, okay? And what they wanted is no more pre-diabetes, in a sense. They wanted stage 1 to 3 of diabetes. So if you're in stage 1, you're already a diabetic. According to this new group who are trying to get the attention of the diabetic people in the United States. They said, listen, 98 million people have what you call prediabetes. But why don't we reclassify it? Stage 1, impaired glucose tolerance. Would you know that? A1C. You can do an insulin fasting test. Yes, and all that. Yep. Complete metabolic panel you can do. But the cheap way, easy to do, is get your A1C tested. So if you're over 5.4, you'd be in stage 1, okay? And let me see here. Stage 2, progressive insulin resistance, the organs are being affected, okay? So they want to put this in stages. In stage 3, full diagnostic criteria for diabetes. You're full-fledged. But you're always full-fledged, in my opinion. Yeah, guys, you're either on the Titanic or you're not. If you're under 5.4 A1C, this is just years and years and years. And the lower your A1C, the better it is. But there's a little line there, and I call it the 5.4. Okay? That just has to be 50 years of experience. And so if you're either on the Titanic or you're not. And when I say Titanic, you're on the 93% of the population is on the Titanic. 93%. Because they have metabolic syndrome. And metabolic syndrome is always a precursor to full-fledged diabetes. Okay? 98 million Americans in the pre-diabetic category. Yeah, they're on the Titanic, guys. It's craziness. Kids are on the Titanic. Metabolically. Not good. Okay, that was a little diatribe because I was answering a question for Claude. Thanks for the question, Claude. Yeah, I like the A1C even better than total sugars because sugars have a tendency to fluctuate. That's why you want an average over 3 months, 4 months. That's how they do the A1C. They can measure it because sugar attaches itself. Here's how the tests work, guys. They take your blood. They look at the red blood cells. And sugar, if you don't think sugar is toxic, do the A1C. Because sugar hooks its wagon to your hemoglobin. You know what your hemoglobin is? Your oxygen. It's a hormone. Okay? It's a protein. It's in the middle of your red blood cell. Hemoglobin carries oxygen. Every time you breathe, go like this. What just happened? Well, you breathe. And what happened then? Well, your red blood cells went by your lungs and they pick up hemoglobin, oxygen. The hemoglobin inside of them picks up the oxygen, like Velcro. But, okay, This is a great test because sugar attaches, glycates, damages the red blood cells, hemoglobin. You can measure it. You can measure it. Isn't that wonderful? You can measure sugar damaging your red blood cells. It's called A1C. Glycated hemoglobin. They use big words, guys, but we try and simplify it because that's exactly what happens. Sugar destroys. One of the ways it destroys, it glycates. It damages. It damages your skin. It damages your joints. It damages your brain. It damages your liver. It damages your red blood cells. And we all know what sugar does with cancer. It feeds it. Don't shoot the messenger. I try and teach so that you understand. You understand that now? How your red blood cells and how they measure that? And they're measuring your sugar destruction of a red blood cell. It glycates it. And then you get a measurement. Beautiful. You can't fool it. Right? You can't fool your A1C. Oh, I was fasting, Dr. Martin. That don't matter. That's not going to fool your A1C. Okay? So, I love it. I love that test. Okay? So, 98 million Americans are pre-diabetic, and it was an appeal to the diabetic people. Let's change pre-diabetes to stage 1, stage 2, and then stage 3 is full-fledged diabetes. Maybe people would be more shocked into, like I used to tell my patients, guys, hello, they're in my office. I did their A1C. I checked their sugar in the urine tube. And I go, hello, have I got your attention? And some people, because doctors they're not used to their doctors talking to them like that. I said, hello, you're in trouble. You're on the Titanic. You're on your way to heart disease. You're on your way to cancer. You're on your way to Alzheimer's. You're on your way to diabetes. You hear me? And you really are a diabetic already. The criteria is wrong. So listen to moi. I'm very passionate. Why? I'm on your side. I want you to fix it. It's not too late. We can change. But you're going to have to go home, and it ain't going to be easy. Because your problem is food. It's not your genetics. Genetics load the gun, but you're the one that's going to pull that trigger with what you're eating. Get it? You got the memo? And some people I remember one guy, I remember a lot of my patients, but one guy, he was so angry at me. I don't believe you, doc. Like, I mean it. I said, well, I'm telling you. They were dancing as the ship was going down on the Titanic. There were people in the ballroom dancing, and the band was playing after they hit the iceberg. Are you kidding me? Okay. You can tell I love the Titanic story, don't you? I've only said it 50,000 times. I love it. Okay. And then Bertha is asking, what do I take to lower A1C? Well, there ain't no magic. There's no magic. It's food. It's food. Okay? That was Bertha. You just got a lower A1C is lowering your carbohydrates and your sugars. Your crappy carbs. Get rid of it. That's how you lower your A1C. Ask tens of thousands of my patients. They'll tell you. Easy? Nope. Understandable? Yes. Can you do it? Yep. Tens of thousands of my patients did it. They lowered their A1C. No magic. It was not magic. It wasn't just I wish my A1C would go down. No, it took eating the right foods. I don't want you to eat less. I want you to eat differently. Okay? You like eggs? I used to ask my patients this. They're on the Titanic. Their A1C is high. I'd say, look, you like eggs? Oh, I love eggs. But, I said, don't put a but there. I don't want to hear about what your doctor said. Your doctor didn't take 1 ounce of nutrition. I want you to listen to what I'm going to say. Because I got a PhD in nutrition. So let's do this. Okay? Listen, Linda. And listen, Larry. You like eggs? Oh, I love eggs. Well, have lots. You like meat? Oh, I love meat. Well, eat it. You like cheese? I love cheese. You like butter? I love butter. Okay, well, leave the bread behind. Very simple. Not difficult to understand, but it was difficult to do. Put your hand up. My name is Susie, and I'm a carboholic. So we got to change that. You need to trust me for 30 days. Do it for 30 days. Trust me. By the time you come back for your follow-up appointment, I'm going to prove to you what food does. It ain't calories. It ain't calories. It's changing fuel. It's all about energy. And you'll thank me later. You'll thank me later. Okay. That was, who was that? That was Tamanetla. That was Bertha. We answered Marilyn's question about DMSO yesterday. Joanne asking about flaxseed oil. Joanne, I wouldn't use flaxseed oil. Use flax seeds. Flax seeds have all the lignans, which is really good to lower your estrogen dominance. But not flax oil. I'm not big on flax oil. The oil I like is omega-3 oil, okay? I like coconut oil, medium chain fatty acid. I do, okay? But what's better is that omega-3, especially DHA and EPA. You don't need flax oil. Eat the flax seeds, okay? Flax oil can become rancid very quickly. Okay, that was Syl. No, that was Joanne, but Syl is asking about severe yeast infection. You got a severe yeast infection. First thing is be patient. Yeast is hardy. Yeast is not easy to kill. Once it invades your body, it'll go where mold goes. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, think of mold. Where does it go? Where there's moisture. Okay? Where there's moisture, you have mold. Yeast is a cousin of mold. So when you get yeast, and everybody's got some yeast, as long as you're keeping it at bay. But when it gets in and it gets into and it travels, yeast can travel once it gets in, You start with leaky gut. Yeast, the Trojan horse, comes in. You feed it with sugar. And it grows, grows, grows. And it invades. It can get into your sinuses. It can get into your lungs. Why? Mucus, moisture. Ladies, it can get into your bladder. Men, it can get into your bladder, but less there than your prostate even. It loves moisture. So it loves your sinuses. It can cross the blood-brain barrier and get into your brain. Not good. And like I said, with severe yeast, number one is the key, don't feed it. Number two is probiotics, because the more friendly bacteria you have, the better chance you have of winning the war against yeast. Oil of oregano, antifungal, anti-yeast. Okay? I know, I talk about oil of oregano all the time. I'm sorry. Well, no, I'm not. I'm just telling you the truth. But you need time. Keep your liver clean, because your liver is your detox organ. So is your kidneys. That's why you drink a lot of water. But your liver, you empty it by not eating sugar. So you get a double beautiful fight. You're not feeding the yeast, and then your liver goes to work. It knows how to kill fungus. But you need that gut to be sealed. The southern border, the northern border, you need to seal it with probiotics. The more we study the microbiome, and I'll do a study tomorrow on this, it's absolutely incredible what happens. Okay? When you seal the northern border is your blood-brain barrier, and the southern border is your blood-gut barrier. So compromised. Okay. Okay. I think I'm done. 10 minutes left. Okay. Oh, Sue. Ooh, Sue, I'm getting a migraine. Can you see it? Sue's asking, a diabetic was telling me, okay, that eating too much protein, especially red meat, will increase blood pressure. Sue, no. Your diabetic friend, they don't know what they're talking about. It will help your blood pressure. Tell your diabetic friend that sugar will really, because sugar affects the kidneys. And that person ought to know, because they're already a diabetic. What do they have trouble with? It's called sugar diabetes. Not, let's give it a new name. You got meat diabetes, especially steak diabetes. No, impossible. Impossible. And red meat don't elevate your blood pressure one iota. So tell your friend that I love them, but they're wrong. Okay? Tell your friend. Ooh, I got a migraine for a minute there. Okay, Stephanie. How high of LDL is dangerous? Never. Let me stop right there. Stephanie, LDL is never dangerous. They made it a boogeyman. Why did they do that? They found a medication that will lower LDL cholesterol. If your whole premise is cholesterol is at the root of heart disease, that's why they measure LDL. You want it to be high. You want to live long? Have high LDL. And you want to have high HDL too. And when you take your measurements of your lipids, What do I look at? Well, I look at LDL, but it's not the big one. I look at it because I want to know if it's too low, you're in trouble. Your immune system doesn't work. Your testosterone men will be low. Your ladies, you're not going to get, remember, these are carriers. They're carriers. They're transporting your hormones. Why is cholesterol bad? It's only bad when it's low. I know. Okay. Stephanie, listen. There's two schools of thought, okay? Two of them. And you have guys like me who've been saying this for almost 50 years. And then you have the vast majority of doctors. It's the way they're trained. They took the cholesterol hoax and they swallowed it. And that's what they teach in medical school. They don't even teach the alternative like me. Now, there's a lot more doctors that are saying, yeah, you know what, we got it wrong. And I'll tell you why. Because cholesterol medication hasn't even put a dent in heart disease. They didn't even put a dent in it. Heart disease is worse than ever. It should get fired. But their premise was wrong. Right out of the gate. Cholesterol is not the boogeyman. Cholesterol is on your side. Your body makes it. God don't even trust you, Steph, to get enough cholesterol in your diet. So God makes 85% of it, most of it in your liver. You need it. Oh, yeah, but it's at the crime scene. Yeah, but it's the good guy. Of course it's at the crime scene in your blood vessels. Do you think cholesterol's not at your crime scene? Do you think cholesterol is not at it's a transporter. It's on the highways and byways of your blood vessels. Of course it is. But it's not the boogeyman. Now, when you get your blood work, repeat after me. What are you looking for? Take your triglycerides. Those are fat balls. Now that's different. You get fat balls in your blood when your liver is full of fat from sugar, especially high fructose corn syrup. So what do? Look at that. Okay? Look at that. I'm not saying to argue with your doctor. I'm just telling you, look at that. What are my triglycerides? You want your triglycerides to be low. And you want your HDL to be high. High density lipoprotein. It's part of metabolic syndrome. That's why I teach you what to look for. Okay? Stephanie, we love you for answering the question. Okay, I think I got everything. Debbie's asking about water filtration system you have. You know, I like reverse osmosis, but again, I'm the big guy with spring water. Okay? And that's the best water, by the way. That's the way water is supposed to be drunk. Now, look, if you have a filtration system under your sink, on your refrigerator, or whatever, look, it's all right. Add a little salt, Himalayan salt, whatever, so you get your mineralizer. You have to remineralize your water, unless you're drinking spring water. Okay? Okay, thanks for the question. I think I'm done. Okay, let me see. Might have one more. Okay. Debbie's saying she's been on EMC since November 2019. Okay. Got really sick in 2026, February, and really bad COVID. Okay. Yeah, she'd taken a medication for osemicide, diarrhea, weak muscles, and all that. Okay, so you got to detox. You got to detox. Just make sure you're taking Debian Up probiotic. Okay, that's a big detoxification. You're already having an empty liver. That's a big detoxification from that. Takes a bit, because if you got really sick and then you got the side effects from that medication, your body will do it though. Drink lots of water, flush, flush, flush. Okay? Flush. Flush those kidneys. You'll get better. Might take a bit of time. You'll get better. Make sure your vitamin D levels are up to snuff. Okay? It's worth getting the blood work done on that. Okay, guys. I found those questions. So what did we do again? Q&A. Like I thought I only had a couple. I had more. Okay. Okay, guys, we love you. Unless you hear from me, okay, and we'll change this on our site. Going to be morning sessions. If it's going to be afternoon, I'll try and let you know. That was just a typo on website. Okay. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.